listeners to the Gamer Headlines Show. Gamer Headlines' weekly entertainment podcast. This is episode 32, and I am one of your co-hosts, Chris Cortez. And with me, of course, is my other co-host, Adnan Riaz.
I have an important question to ask you, Chris. It's been bugging me for last week.
Okay.
Do you know if you're 24601, does that make Becca 24602?
Oh, totally. Well, no, she'd be... That's what precedes, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, of course. Becca's like...
Okay. I was actually thinking about that last week. I was like, is she 24602? Or like...
She's definitely not in Anne Hathaway's position. She's not, like, whoring herself. She just was with prison because we both stole bread together. And then, we, like...
And you were put away for 5 years.
Yeah, grew a sweet beard. And then, just kind of left. And
Pulling pirate ships.
Yeah, like, what a job. Jesus. Anyway, guys, welcome to the show. Got a lot of really cool stuff, including a very exciting topic, which we'll get into when we get to the last part of the show. But before we proceed any further, Adnan, dude, talk nerdy to me, dude. What's been going on since last podcast?
Normally I'm like, I haven't done anything, but yeah, so I actually got around to watching, been watching this film for ages. It's on my hit list for such a long time. I actually found a stream for it. Mm-hmm. It's called It Follows. It's a horror movie. I'm one of those kind of guys where I despise like shitty horror films. I've seen so many, and just like I watched, I think the last one that I really watched that was brilliant was The Babadook. Mm-hmm. And then when I came across this, I was like, I need to watch this because it sounds like a great idea. And I did watch it. And I was like, fucking hell, like, bang on. I was like, when you see films like this, I'm like, it kind of reinstates my faith in the horror genre. Mm-hmm. It is a really, really, really intricate horror movie. How it's shot, how it's done. I really, really recommend you go and watch it when you get the chance because it's so fucking creepy. Like it really, like the camera. I think obviously you're an amateur filmmaker. I think you'd be really impressed with the camera techniques they use, and just like the scenes. Like it is basically the thing that is what you would call the villain or the horror villain or whatever it is, and like how they use it is such a great thing because like in the first when the guy kind of explains why it's following him, basically you have to have sex with a person to get rid of it. So, hypothetically speaking, that's what he believes. Mm-hmm. So he passes it on to, what's it called? He passes it on to Makia Monroe's character, which is Jay. And so basically you have to have sex with the next person, then the chain gets passed on, and then it follows that person. But like how he explains it, he's like, it basically it's walking to us slowly. He's like, it's not stupid, so don't go into a place where there's multiple doors. Because, like, that's the entire point. That's one of the things I loved about it. It's like, it is not stupid. Like, any villain is not stupid because it has, it has common sense of what it would do. If there's multiple angles that can come in, it'll come through a different way, least expecting. So, like, if you're going to run from it, hide in one place where there's one door and it can't get through. And it's so fucking creepy because it just keeps walking and it slowly walks. And there's, like, shots when she's, like, in a car and she's driving away. You still see it walking in the distance, and it's a very fantastic film, and like it's got very ambiguous questions to like answer. Like it's intentionally ambiguous. Mm-hmm. I think that they actually want to do that, so they wanted people to kind of like ask these questions of what they do, what these characters does, and like kind of deep meanings as well. There's kind of great metaphors behind like kind of rape trauma and sexual transmitted diseases and kind of like how they scrutinize their films. I mean, there's like those kind of like themes pretty much weave in and out throughout the entire film, and it's really well layered for what it's doing. But I really recommend it, dude. I think you should go watch it. I can't put my stamp of approval on it anymore.
The Adnan stamp of approval. Yeah, that's Dude, that's a really interesting concept. I would imagine a married couple that's like faithful to each other would be fucked in that situation because it would just always be like with
back and forth sex.
Yeah, just like God, give me a break, just fuck me so I can have a nice weekend, and then next weekend we'll take turns.
Well, they kind of touch on the idea of who you can pass it on to.
Oh, so it's specific people.
maybe like you have to watch it. I'm not going to spoil it. It's kind of like they explain some cases where it's kind of it could possibly go on, but they never explained what it is and why. And it is technically a lot of people kind of interpret it as a metaphor for STDs and kind of like how these kind of you can never be careful what it can, and it'll always follow you regardless. Like if you actually get one, it'll always be there in the background of like it's kind of like metaphorical. I remember reading a lot of people saying like if you got an STD, it'll always be in the background. It's like it's a metaphorically it follows it regardless of if you get rid of it. It kind of places itself in the back of your subconscious that you've had it, and that'll always follow you to the grave and whatever. Like people make all kinds of theories. Some of them were interesting, some of them were fucking ludicrous. But yeah, it's really, really fun. It's just there's some moments in that you're like, ooh, like what a fucking great director you have for like getting all these techniques down. Really kind of getting these horror ways of doing horror kind of like camera angles and everything else. It doesn't fall under traditional horror conventions because sometimes it subverts them and takes on its own kind of twist. Like sometimes you just don't expect it. It's like bang. And it happens. So it's definitely one of those ones you need to watch.
Damn, that's interesting. If I get the balls to do it, because God knows certain horror movies just scare the crap out of me. Like ever since PT, man, it's like PT like that. I mean, that was a game, not a movie, but that just kind of like put me in the mindset of let me be cautious because that gave me nightmares for like fucking I don't know how long. So it's like fuck.
Not PT.
Oh, dude, that was like horrifying. But like delightfully horrifying. Well, shit, dude. For me, honestly, I haven't been doing anything different from what I talked about in the last podcast. I've become very obsessed with The Witcher 3.
Mm-hmm.
I know I talked about it briefly. I think I had played it for a day and a half like 2.5 days when we recorded. I think so. So I've played it for like a full week and some change since then. And oh my god, dude, that game just sucked me in. I have not been sucked into a game like that in such a long time. There is, what I did want to bring up, something new so I don't just repeat myself, is that there was like some things that kind of annoyed me. Basically, the game is very long and there's a lot of content in it, and I'm very happy about that. And the side missions, I think, are just as good as the main missions, which is like a rarity in a lot of games these days. But one thing that really annoyed me was basically Act 2, like after, because the game's split into 3 acts, and Act 2 is very fast-paced, and I just didn't like how the game is all about, oh, you could do things in whatever order you want, and you could customize, you could do this and that, and then all of a sudden for Act 2, it kind of limited me a little bit on that. I mean, it didn't bother me a whole lot, but like my OCD was kicking in because Geralt's beard grew so big, and I'm like, I fucking want to shave his beard, and I couldn't do it, and like all this other stuff. So, but like, it's still holding up. I'm actually trying to like wean myself off of it because I'm on the 3rd act right now, and it's the final act, and I want this game to last as long as it can because I'm enjoying it so much.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of like taking it slow. I have other things I'm playing, so I'm doing a replay of Castlevania Symphony of the Night, which I've actually admittedly, I've actually admittedly never beaten it. Gotten like the best ending. I've always gotten the shitty ending where you kill Richter Belmont. So I'm trying to like get the good ending, and do the inverted castle. But so I'm doing that, man. Trying to like spread my time evenly. But Witcher 3, Jesus Christ, that's like my main game right now. One thing I do want to point out is I think it's so awesome how the company that developed the game is releasing... you've heard about this, right? The 16 pieces of DLC?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. Yeah, it's weird. Like, they've released 4 so far. They're doing 2 a week. And it's all for free. And some of them are kind of cool. Like, the first set was different hairstyles for Geralt, and it was also some armor for him. And then this week, it's just an alternate look for one of the characters, Yennefer, and then it's also a mission. And I was like, wow, a mission? Like a Witcher contract mission? That's awesome. And I played it this morning, and like, for free it's not bad, but I would never have paid any money for it. Like, not even 99 cents. Like, it was like really just not, I'm very happy they have that mindset of like, here's some free stuff, go enjoy it. But dude, seriously, man, like, I highly recommend you and anyone else listening to pick up this game. I mean, if you don't have money right now, like, wait until it's on sale, but like, put it on your list of games to eventually buy. It's still, I mean, there's a couple of things that I've finally seen its faults, or at least what I interpret as my faults against the game. Like, it's no longer it was perfect last week. Now I've noticed some shit that pisses me off. But it's still my game of the year. Like, it's the first game this year that's like really, gotten my attention, and like the first video game in a really long time that's like, like I keep saying it, that sucked me in. But yeah, the stuff that's there, the stuff that
Did it keep you away
me.
from Arkham Knight?
I think I'll be done with it by Arkham Knight.
Ooh, bold claim.
No, I think I will, at least the main mission and the side missions I want to do, because there's like Witcher's contracts and you could level up and stuff like that, but I've never been the type of person that likes grinding, and most of the Witcher contracts I'm kind of like, like I'm okay with it. I might explore and see if there's anything, but I think at that point, once the main mission is done and once I've done like the side missions, I think that'll be when Arkham Knight comes out. Now I'll be able to kind of like balance my play between the two of them. Like, I'll be able to like play some Arkham Knight to get some sweet ass like, story and awesome stuff and gameplay. And then if I just want to like relax and just explore a world and, mess around, I could pop in The Witcher 3 and then like play that. Plus the DLC, I mean, who knows what they're going to release. So I guess I won't be like fully done, actually.
Yeah.
But
Fair
yeah,
enough.
I could keep going on the stuff I hate, but I don't want to do that. But there is some stuff like falling from a ledge. Dude, you fall from like a ledge that's 10 feet, or not even 10 feet, like 4 feet, and you die. It's ridiculous. It's the most it's silly. It's like a joke. It's like if like, I don't know, Bruce Lee tripped on his shoelaces. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's so stupid. And there's other stuff too that I'm like, why do that? But overall, dude, it's a top-notch game. Like I've been saying. I mean, it's really it's caught me on. It's a good game.
That's good. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I wish I had that kind of opportunity right now. I'm just sitting around, finished Game of Thrones, which will be a spoiler cast for later this week, by the way. Waiting for Batman to come out.
Yeah. Well, this week or next week, we're not sure when the spoiler cast.
It'll be this week.
Oh,
We'll
this week?
record it Friday. Yeah.
Oh, all right, there you guys go. Oh yeah, I forgot. What the hell am I talking about? We rearranged the. See, look at me, man. What the hell am I talking about? And I love how Adnan's saying like I'm not feeling well today, and he's more clear-headed than I am. Like, it's like Jesus Christ. I've always Jesus. Yeah, all right, guys, there you go. Listen to the man of reason. We are gonna have a spoiler cast this week. But all right, I guess we'll go ahead and wrap up Act 1, and I clapped my hands right then. I don't know if the mic picked it up.